Good morning, Superkickin with Steven fans. Your favorite host right here, Steven and Greg, ready to talk up AEW All Out 2021 live in Chicago. We're expecting some debuts possibly. We're expecting maybe, upsets to happen. Just don't know what to expect right now because I think there's a lot of rumors flying out there about who might show up and who, could take titles. But me and Greg will give you the lowdown on what we think will happen. As you can see right there, we got the whole card for you. We were off air for a few minutes before. We were just mentioning that if you guys have seen it, I've not seen it, but it looks like the men's battle royale is not happening tonight, which kind of sucks because it's one of those fun matches where you have one little surprise, entrant, which I guess I'll save that for the women's battle royale. But I was kind of surprised they pulled that off. I know the buy-in show, I believe, is just a big old 10-man tag with Jurassic Express and Best Friends against, whatever heels are going after. I think it's the Hardy family front office, or the Hardy family office, whatever they're calling. So whatever the battle royale, I'm guessing the faces go over. I'm not really worried about that. But Greg, how was your weekend going? Anything to report exciting on the horizon?
It's been a pretty quiet weekend, man. There's been some good UFC action going on. And I spent the day at Carowinds yesterday, so it's been pretty quiet on the home front. It's after the storms going through and everything's kind of with the PARS cloud and the birds start chirping and you hear the little flute music in the background. We're kind of back to that now.
Were you affected by Ida?
We were not.
Did you get a lot of rain?
Well. At work, I was because I work for American Airlines in the Charlotte airport. Okay. So, of course, that causes delays and cancellations.
Okay.
And so, it kicks my butt at work. But aside from that, here in Charlotte, there's been nothing more than like heavy rain.
Okay.
So,
and I just knew because of the way the pattern was showing, it looked like rain was going to hit everybody. Just because of the way it was going. And now it's heading up the Northeast, I heard. I think they're getting hit with it pretty hard. I saw some pictures and subways were like flooded and it just looked crazy. Like I can't imagine trying to get, in the subway, like with rain up to your waist. Like it just,
it hasn't helped my road rage because all you have to do out here, all you have to do is forecast rain and cars start sliding off the road. So,
yeah, you guys in snow, I bet, is just awesome. And ice. I remember that huge ice storm some years ago in Atlanta, and the highways just shut. Like people just left their cars because there was like 2 inches of ice and they couldn't get around. So, we get it all up here in Indy. Like we get rain, hail, ice, snow, earthquake here and there, tornado, of course. Yeah. So if you want all the seasons of weather, and sometimes it's in the same week. Like there'll be days that'll be like 80, and then a couple days later it'll be like 40s, and it's just especially this weird time where it's going into fall. A lot nowadays I've noticed just really really hot and then really cold. There's no in between seasons anymore. It feels like, but we still get a little bit of everything. But we are here a little bit off schedule today just because of fantasy football draft for myself and life happening and stuff. But we're here live this morning to give you the all-out prediction show. Greg, I want to start with the women's battle royale. I am going to say that I predict the surprise entrant is Ruby Soho. I think that just makes the most sense. She's been really hyping up these videos, which I love. I love that it's a different take. It's shown her try to find her way where she needs to go. And some people have already decoded that it said destination and there was enough letters for Chicago. So that's kind of a cool little tease possibly for her showing up. I don't know if she'll come out. So Ruby Soho is a song by Rancid. I don't know if she'll come out to that. If, Tony Khan wants to pay for another licensed song, I'm sure he's okay for it. But I think she's going to be the surprise entrant. And I don't know if she'll win, though. That's where I get struggling. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think, who – because we're getting Chris Statlander now, which makes a lot of sense. You know what, Greg? I might pull the trigger on Jade. I think Jade might win it. And Jade Cargill just needs that because you can throw her in the title picture with that and kind of let her. But then again, I get struggling. Like, does she beat Britt Baker right off the bat? Or does she, maybe lose and have to come up short and, work her way back up? So, but I'm going to call Jade to win the women's battle royale myself. How about you? You could pick a surprise entrant and then pick your winner.
What, you mean Jamie Hayter isn't a big enough surprise entrant for you?
Yeah, Jamie Hayter is. We're good on her.
I think we all hating on Jamie Hayter, but it definitely looks that way with Ruby Soho that she's going to be the mystery entrant. I like it. I hope that Ruby really gets her footing here. WWE definitely squandered her, and I was disappointed because for as great and talented as I heard she was on the indie scene, we didn't see any of that in WWE, and we all know how the WWE machine just chews up people and spits them out, especially when you're just coming off the indie scene and not through their system. So I'm really hoping that she can, capture that spark and really show us what made her such a huge draw on the indie scene and see what she can really do. So it doesn't look like she's going to be that new girl that everybody's buzzing about. So I'm all for it. As far as the winner, we did have another new entrant or new return with Anna Jay just popping back up. From what I've seen on the interwebs, people are really popping about that. I don't know if it's because they actually missed her or just because she's so freaking hot. Just to be contrarian, I'm going to go against Jade because I think Jade is the easy choice, and usually the easy choice is not the one that wins. So I'm going to go with Anna Jay.
And that's a pretty good pick as well. Just like you said, just coming back. I mean, I think she's a lot more talented than Tay Conti, but I kind of wonder, it'd be good to get her back in that spotlight, and you wonder what she'll play a role into the Dark Order as they're, doing what they need to do, which is falling apart. So you'll wonder how maybe her and Tay Conti just don't even involve themselves with it and just kind of slowly disappear from it. But I'm guessing
it's traditional baby face. So
her and Tay
Baker, it makes more sense.
Scream. And if you just want to build it to full gear in November, I think that's fine. And I mean, like I said, Jade feels like she should just win the title straight up. So that's where I'm probably, not great on that pick, and wouldn't be surprised if your pick is the correct one. So, and I'm guessing
Jade's going to be in that. Jade's going to be in that big show spot where they see she's towering over everybody, and the whole field just gangs up on her and throws her out.
That's probably true. So the men's battle royal got cut from the broadcast, it sounds like. But if it shows up, I'll be interested to see who their surprise guest is. Also, I want to bring up, I didn't post it here, but Andrade, I believe, is still wrestling. I thought he's still getting the mystery opponent. I'm going to say it right here, Greg. I'm sporting Adam Cole. I think it's going to be Adam Cole showing up in that spot. I know Dana Bryan probably makes the most sense, but I feel like, and I almost wonder if they might just save Dana Bryan. I don't know. Like, there, you don't have the battle royale for. See, my first guess was battle royale would be Adam Cole would be the surprise entrant. That would be the easiest thing to slide him into. But now that you're not doing the men's battle royale, I feel like Adam Cole and Andrade, they already have history in WWE. They've wrestled a few times. So I think I'm going to pull Adam Cole as a surprise entrant against Andrade, but it makes it tough because do you want Andrade losing this big of a match, or do you want Adam Cole losing this big of a match? So I'm not going to pick a winner because I do not have it listed on my official card. So, Greg, I'm going to let you just pick a surprise entrant, and we don't have to pick the winner per se. Are you going to go Daniel Bryan in that spot?
Yeah, I'm more moved to do Daniel Bryan, only for the fact that this week it came out that WWE sent out their internal memos that Adam Cole is officially a free agent, scrubbed the sight of his existence. I can't even buy an Adam Cole t-shirt anymore, not even on the clearance rack. And I think that the retroactive date that may not be 30 days already. I know it was up this month, and as a show of good faith, he just finished out the O'Reilly takeover, even though his contract was already expired. So we may not hit the full 30 days yet. That's the only reason I'm not saying it's him. And I see you've come around to my side that Adam Cole will not be re-signing with WWE. Looks like I will not have to eat my hat. And I was thinking with that, Adam Cole will not be back in WWE anytime soon. Maybe he does his AEW run and goes back, once that sees what a top star he missed out on. But he is AEW, no doubt in my mind. He's going to be there. And I even raised the stakes. If he wrestles one more match in WWE this year, I'll buy you a shirt. So that's how confident I am that he is not going to show back up. He's going to go over to AEW, hang out with his woman, sign a fat contract, and
be happy with his girlfriend.
Exactly. So I think
does Daniel Bryan beat Andrade?
Yeah, he's got that buzz going on about him. People would be dying to see him, and you can't lose a debut that big. And
it's weird that they're pulling Andrade and Pac at Rampage. So I don't get why he can fly out for that, but he can't fly out for this. I don't know. It's weird. Like they're advertising that for Rampage on Friday. So somehow, maybe it's a work visa issue. I don't know. But so Friday night, we should get Pac and Andrade. And I kind of wonder if that might be the turn where we see the Lucha Bros, with Andrade. It just seems to be makes the most sense. Now, I don't know who Pac's going to get to, team up with him. But I feel like the Lucha Bros with Andrade makes a lot of sense. And that builds up Andrade. So. We'll see.
Also, with this match, it's plenty of ways to work it so that Andrade doesn't come out looking bad. He can lose by disqualification for cutting corners, try to hit him with a chair. But Daniel Bryan can come in, red hot, and Andrade gets a little overwhelmed, starts to go to the cheat sheet, and get himself disqualified or walk out of the ring or whatever. So plenty of ways for him to take the L without, getting, defined down. So,
or even if you just say Andrade just didn't know who was, he was overwhelmed, like you said, and just let Daniel Bryan get a good, clean win. And so we'll kind of see. We got Circle City Cryogenics in the building. Thank you for joining us. If you have any comments about AEW, feel free to pass them along. We had Dan show up as well, so got some good people happening in the chat. Greg,
let's go.
Here's our main event for the night. Are you ready? Paul freaking White versus QT Marshall. I'm going to say it right now, Greg. This match does not happen. I think QT will ask for the forfeit win. Billy Gunn comes out there to celebrate with him. We move on. This is a dynamite match. This is not a AEW all out, pay-per-view type match. I mean, really, it's probably AEW dark match, but Paul White does commentary for that, so I can't. But I think, I think they saved the actual match for a Dynamite episode, whether it's this week or next week or maybe even Rampage. You got an hour on Rampage. Why not? But this, I'm going to say right now, Greg, this doesn't happen. I think QT wins by forfeit. Oh, wow. We got Damon in here too. Wow. I guess we just need to start going on live on Sunday. Thank you for joining us, Damon.
Thank you, show
Anyways, but this match does not happen. That's my call. QT Marshall wins by forfeit because, yeah. What do we think? By the way, what do we think about Billy Gunn turning on the Big Show? Or Paul White, sorry. I have nothing to say on it because I just don't care for Billy Gunn. Or his sons have no charisma either. Like, it's something about Billy Gunn. Like, remember back in the day, they tried to push him, in WWF with The Rock. And like, if The Rock couldn't get you over, maybe something's missing. Like, if you can't work with The Rock and get over, I mean, it just, I don't know. But I mean, it was over with New Age Outlaws. I'll give him that. But that was more Road Dogg pulling him, pushing him up and on his own. And, the Sons, like, I don't know, they just kind of rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. But yeah, the whole turn thing was so, it's like, really? I was just almost waiting for the Big Show to turn because that's all he does is go face to heel. So what do you think about this match, Greg? Are you going along with me in the fact that it probably doesn't happen?
No. If they spend the actual time to give both of these guys an entrance, it will happen.
Yeah.
I don't see Big Show forfeiting unless he missed the plane. So he's going to be there, and it's going to be the usual shenanigans. QT, ducking in and out of the ring. His goon squad trying to get involved. The turn thing, I think they did just for the surprise effect. Nobody really cares that the Gun Club is turned on Big Show. But now I guess they're part of QT Marshall's group and more members of the Job Squad pretty much. So it'll be, Big Show leaving a pile of bodies in the ring and him getting his, moment to shine because, he's been on as a commentator for the last few months and this is his first match, give him a good, feel good moment for a second. The you still got it moment. And, he can disappear back into the announce booth for, the next indefinite amount of time. So I think this is just scratching an itch, and QT and his group is a good choice for it. So it'll be quick, thankfully.
One punch does it.
Pretty much, yeah. It'll be quick. It'll be over in 5 minutes, but we will have this match, and Paul White will win the match.
Yes, I'm going to have to get my brain out of Big Show territory. No more BS, as his, little jacket.
That's a cool slogan. I like that, though.
It is. It does. That is kind of, because it could go either way. Like you think, oh, no more Bull this or no more Big Show. So that does nice double entendre there. But yeah, I think, like you said, if it happens, you got QT just run around the ring and maybe slides out and slides back in one punch and we're done and move on because I'm done. Like you said, is the Gun Club affiliated with Nightmare Family? Because do they need more members? Like, our Nightmare Factory, sorry. They don't need more. Like, you already have Nick Cormado, you have Aaron Solo, we have, don't forget, we have Anthony Ogogo, which I guess he's stuck in Britain. It feels like he just shows up randomly. So, how about Jon Moxley and Kojima? I think this is to be a decent match. Moxley, obviously, for the win. I don't know anything about Kojima, but other than Moxley looks excited to go against him. And I don't know if you saw last night, Greg, Jon Moxley won the GCW title, which is like the death match stuff, against Matt Cardona. And now we will get Nick Gage and Jon Moxley in a death match type stuff for the title in October, because Moxley literally is wrestling wherever the hell he wants, and that's what he wanted. So it's kind of cool for him to. It's nice to see him doing that. Like, it does feel like he's got that energy back. He's got that, swagger back about him. But this is all him. Like I said, maybe Kojima gets some shots in. I kind of put these on one side just because I look at, we kind of have an undercard, like a UFC event, and then we have like a bunch of main card matches. Like, so Moxley's huge, yes, but this feels like like you said, a feel good type match for Moxley, just to get some New Japan wrestler on the card as well. So, are you going against the grain, Greg?
No. Just like you, I don't even know who Kojima is.
Yeah.
I know they're taking the forbidden door and leaving it wide open. Maybe leaving the door stop in the corner so it doesn't close all the way.
Might as well be a revolving door now. I mean,
pretty much, yes. It's style.
There's no bailman.
It's from the little promos, the guy looks legit. Seems like he's pretty big over in Japan, and I like the way they built it up. He sent a fat stack of contracts over to Japan, and sees name comes back, and this is the one. And so I'm hoping this is a disguised match of the night. We didn't see it coming,
like a stealer.
It ends up being a banger that nobody saw coming. If Kojima is the stud that they're making him out to be in Japan, so I'm keeping an open mind to it. A good 15-minute barn burner type match. We get some new respect for Kojima, and Moxley looks good. I did not know about the GCW thing, because what reason do we have to watch Matt Cardona? But after seeing the Nick Gage stuff prior to Fight for the Fallen, and then the Matt Cardona match that he had with Nick Gage, and now the death match realm is a thing that they're exploring. I'm more interested in it now because I love the blood and guts, and Nick Gage and John Moxley. Oh man, okay, here, take my money. I'm down for that.
October.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Cardona, talk about somebody who's just going around wrestling wherever he wants. I mean, he's living his best life. I mean, I can't, I give him credit for that. So, and he's almost making a new name for himself outside of WWE. So that's pretty cool to see, I think. But
yeah, I never liked the guy. I never liked his character.
Yeah,
and his gimmick. He was probably a solid guy outside the ring, but his gimmick, I just never down for it. But if you go hardcore like this, and that is a new way to really put some separation between what you used to do and what you do now, and
yes,
that can definitely get you some converts. I might have to go back and watch his matches, and at least his death matches, and see if I can gain some more respect for him. I already have a little bit after seeing Nick Gage in person, and so yeah. But for the record, John Moxley gets the win on this one.
Yeah, I figured. It does feel like most of the matches should be easy predictions, but Miro, current TNT champion, versus Eddie Kingston. I'm going Miro. And Greg, I will say we will see Lana celebrating with Miro after his match. Like, I don't know if maybe the lights go out. She's officially a free agent. So I think we see her tonight. We'll see, but I think, I don't think she helps him in the match, but he always does bring her up a lot. And so I kind of see her showing up at the end, maybe like I said, lights go out, she's in the middle of the ring with him, and then we're off and running with Lana. Well, I don't know what her name's going to be. Maybe she'll just go by CJ, because her real name is CJ Perry, I think it is. So maybe she just goes by CJ for now until they But I'm going to say my surprise is Lana in the ring with Miro at the end of this match. And this should be a barn burner. I think this is going to be brawl to the wall, balls to the wall type action. No wrestling moves, no wrestling moves. And they've already redeem these nuts as a new shirt for Eddie Kingston. Because as soon as he said that line, I was like, just put it on the shirt and you got some money. So I thought, Eddie Kingston, now that they've given the mic back, because he was kind of not talking much there. And I think now that they know what they get with him, it should be a good match. And Miro is Miro, so we'll see him win tonight. And I think celebrate with CJ in the ring. A live sex, no. They can do the Edge and Lita, no. Anyways, so Miro for the win. How about you, Greg?
I agree. I think that Lana is a good call. She's been out of work for 90 days. She'll have a cool stage name by the time that they have to introduce her, I'm sure. I like the backstory that they added to it with Bill's weakness being his neck. I don't know where they got that from. If they just invented it for him, or I don't remember him ever having neck surgery or anything like that. It's not like Edge where we all knew the story behind why he left. So it seems like kind of a manufactured weakness for Miro just to give Eddie Kingston a chance. Regardless whether it's real or not, I like that they added that facet to it so that we can buy Miro taking some more damage, some more because he's looked pretty indestructible to anybody who's walked in the ring against him. So it provides some believability in Kingston's offense working. So it's a good angle. I like the way it's shaped out. And I still think that Miro is going to get the win, but I like what they did here with this blossoming rivalry, because I don't think it'll be over with this match.
That could be, yeah, and that's why I wonder too, who do you throw next? And once they realized Miro didn't need to be with the best man gimmick, he's taken off. That's the thing. Just thinking they would have just realized that. I think they did realize that, but I thought also too, maybe Miro mentioned he wanted to do something different. And so, they were like, well, we'll run with it. And then he realized this best man gimmick is really dumb. And talk about video games, and whatever else he was doing. So I'm glad that
I'm loving the Redeemer gimmick. What do you think about it?
I think it fits better. The music really is cool for that whole epic saga, heroes. And that's what's funny. It almost feels like it should be a baby face because you got the hero type music, but he's a bad guy. So it's kind of a dynamic that's interesting. And the God stuff goes a little too much for me, but I guess if that's what he's doing, that's what he's doing. It's just an interesting way you don't hear that very often other than, back in the day, Jake the Snake and his Bible stuff. And then that led to Stone Cold 316, but that's a whole nother conversation. So
right. That's the thing. What's old is new again. So
exactly,
it's strong now because nobody else is doing it.
Nobody's done it. Exactly.
Yeah. So
and he's making it work. It's not. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. The promos have been super strong. I love the veiled references or the not so veiled references to his wife in every promo. And he's making the Redeemer gimmick work, and he's doing it strong. He's doing it powerful, and you believe what he's saying and his conviction, the way he do it. You can tell he believes in every word he says in his promos. So that's what's going to make it great, and that's why we still won't be tired of it a year from now. At least I don't think we will.
And like we said, if you add the Lana aspect to it, that gives it another leg, another avenue. Yeah. What will she add to it? So let's take a quick commercial break. Since, like I said, I think those are kind of our undercard matches that, will kind of set the table for the rest of the evening. It'll be interesting to see where placement of these matches are, but let's do a quick Elite Performance commercial. I got to kind of get all of our sponsors in before we call it a day here, but let's get Elite Performance a little love right now. All right, next up, let's kind of get our singles matches that I think we're all really excited for. Chris Jericho, MJF. I know some people have said, oh, it's too many times. I think the stipulation that Jericho added in makes it a little more predictable. Like, I can't, because you got to believe Jericho's going to stick to the stipulation, just like Cody Rhodes. You know, he said, I'm not going to go for this title if I lose this match. So you got to think if Jericho loses, but then again, if he wins, you feel like you keep going back to the well. That's a hard thing with this. Like, you're calling it the final chapter, but if Jericho wins, technically that would be one win to, you know, and I guess MJF would still come out on top. But Greg, I'll let you go first because I am obviously talking out both sides of my mouth because I don't know which way I want to go because that stipulation. So have at it.
Yeah, I like the way that this match shapes up just because the precedent has been set with Cody, like you mentioned, where it looks so obvious that, you know, with that stipulation hanging over his head that he's going to win and he doesn't win. So now, you know, he's hung with that albatross around his neck and he can never challenge for the championship. And now Jericho putting out a similar stipulation that he won't wrestle again ever if he loses this match. It's like, well, he's going to win, but, you know, and you go back to Cody. So they did a good job in setting the precedent that, no, just because it looks like it's obvious doesn't mean it's going to be. That being said, I think Jericho is still going to win this match. And, you know, I'd see them, you know, maybe, you know, the rest of Pinnacle comes in and, you know, beats him up and there's his write off so he can go and, you know, be a rock star. But it's for a person who's watched like Jericho's whole 30 years, if he lost this match, I wouldn't be heartbroken just because I saw Jericho from the beginning and looking at Jericho then and Jericho now, you know, he's not, you know, 50 years of service like Ric Flair is, but you can tell that, you know, Jericho now looks like he ate Jericho then. And, you know, he can't go like he used to, you know, for he invented a finishing move where he doesn't have to take a bump. So that tells you his bump card is pretty full. And this would be a good time to go on a big pay-per-view in a company that you're the face for. If you did decide, okay, my days of working are over. So I'd be initially bummed because he lost the match, but I knew it'd be because he decided that this was it for him. And, you know, time to, you know, go to, you know, just hang at the announce desk and, you know, cracking on his co-hosts, and it would, you know, be a way to transition yourself out without having to, you know, have a farewell match or a farewell tour or, you know, be an OEL like Shawn Michaels did to Ric Flair. So I think he still has some 4-star matches left in him, but not a lot. A handful
I
maybe.
mean, yeah,
So it may be
maybe three and a
time.
half.
Yeah, three and a half. Yep. So I still see him losing this match, but I wouldn't be um, heartbroken for him for too long, just because he's put in a full career of it.
Mhm.
He's been wrestling more years, or more than half of his life. So
Mhm.
it would be a way to kind of exit gracefully on your own terms. So, uh, but that being said, I'm still Team Jericho. He's going to get the win and finally have a little reason to talk smack on MJF.
And that's what I think feels weird. Like it doesn't feel like this is the end for him. But then again, God, I don't know. Like I feel like it should be a bigger moment for Jericho. Just because, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, putting all this work in. But then again, I see him, like you said, he's the type that I think wants to go on his own terms. And maybe this is his terms. Maybe he's decided that because you could probably still use him as the mouthpiece of the inner circle and maybe try to
Yeah.
find some new member. Because just because his in-ring career is over doesn't mean he still doesn't show up with inner circle to help, talk with them or, be their leader or step aside for somebody to take over or whatever. But so you know what, Greg? I'm gonna say MJF wins. I feel very less than confident with that. But at the same time, like you kind of talked me into it when you said Jericho seemed to be the type to want to go on his own terms. And maybe he wants to go out before it is time, before
Yeah.
your hand forces you to do it. And,
Right.
we did see Shawn Michaels back at Crown Jewel, technically. So who's to say Jericho doesn't step away for, 6-7 months, and maybe by Double or Nothing, he's in a little more mentally healthy or a little more physically healthy. Maybe he gets all the rock star stuff taken care of, and because, like you said, he does seem a step slower. I mean, you could tell the wheels aren't spinning as quick, and there's a lot of wear and tear on the tires, as they say. So, and whatever other cliches we could throw out about his body, but I'm going to say, and it feels like MJF has so much more to gain using that as I retire Jericho. Like just like he can use that from here on out. I mean, so, and like I said, I feel like he'll still be on TV. And if they play it up somehow that maybe the inner circle wins Jericho's in-ring career back or something like that, you can book it some way. I think that people wouldn't be like, oh my God, they ruined it. Like if it's Jericho himself, I think that would ruin it. But somehow maybe Sammy Guevara beating MJF or, something like that. I feel like there's some way you can write it out. I don't know. But then again, maybe AEW wants to be the type to say, nope, we said this stipulation. We're not backing off from it. So I'm going to say MJF wins, but that's my call. So how about Darby Allin and CM Punk? Might have to pick up the pace a little bit because I need to leave after 11. So not to cut us short, but we'll pick CM Punk and Darby Allin, Greg. This is our main event. Is that what we're thinking?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This way you keep the fans from hijacking the show. And this is the highest moment of the night. This is, the climax. So,
and you keep them on the edge like all night.
Right. I mean, what's the other option? Christian and Cage and Kenny Omega. I mean, no matter who wins, we don't care. We're here to see Punk. It's in Chicago. So, yeah, I don't see any way that Punk does not get the win. Love Darby Allin, and I think this is going to be the best match of the night. There are going to be some crazy spots in this match, but I definitely have Punk winning.
And I think, Greg, if we're going to do it at the end of the night, that's when the American Dragon should show up. You save it. Maybe he comes out gives a little handshake like ROH respect to Punk and just walks away type deal. Because then that way we kind of leave it like, what's Daniel Bryan going to do? Like, is he going to do something to Punk? Is he going to get Punk his moment? So if we do see Daniel Bryan, I'm going to call my shot. And I believe Daniel Bryan will be there at the end of the night to kind of, not steal the spotlight, but share in the spotlight somehow. So I think it's all Punk. I'm really interested to see how this, because, Darby can wrestle, but he also is a loose cannon, like in the ring. And Punk is more of a wrestler type. So it's going to be interesting to see how the styles clash. Not the move, but how their move sets kind of work against each other, because I think we got two different, and they've never touched. That's pretty interesting to we've never physically, this is going to be their first time even hitting each other. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up against each other. And we'll leave our title matches. So AEW Tag Team Championship, Young Bucks and Lucha Bros. I'm going to say the Young Bucks. I still think Proud and Powerful should be the ones to take off the title. I like the Lucha Bros, but I feel like I want to kind of slide them over with Andrade. So maybe when Andrade wins a title, then it makes sense to give the Lucha Brothers, the tag team titles. But I'm going to say Young Bucks pick up the win. They just passed a year. Young Bucks. And I think this will be a barn burner, though. Like steel cage match for these two teams. I mean, this is going to be, straight up 15 minutes of just, 20 minutes of back and forth. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to, this is not a bathroom break, Greg, or turn around and blink, because this is just going to be like, Clockwork Orange. We're going to have our eyes open like this type style. Just trying to keep an eye on all the action here. And especially if you probably involve the Good Brothers a little bit, maybe, that plays a part. But I think Young Bucks take care of business in the steel cage. How about you?
No, I disagree.
Okay.
This is the moment. I have been Team Lucha Bros since
you have. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
since day one.
It's since day one, exactly.
Lucha.
There is not exactly. Go to Tubi, watch Lucha Underground to see what these guys can do. Like I've said before, there is not a greater luchador in the game today than Rey Fenix. And you can at me if you want. Tell me who you think you got, and I will tell you why you're wrong. Rey Fenix is the greatest luchador on the planet. And I would have loved for this to get the Wayback Machine and put Rey Fenix now against Rey Mysterio 10 years ago. But there is nobody that can hang with this guy. I love Rey. Penta's Penta. Dude's a boss, and he has not got the run he deserves. And this is, a moment for him. This is a moment he needs. But just the way that Dynamite went off the air, plus apparently, Tony Khan's pretty adamant about there not being any interference after the way the show ended on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true.
Straight up 2-on-2 without the shenanigans. Team Lucha Bros all day. We're going to have new champs.
I mean, and you talk about Penta, like, man, just 3 or 4 years ago, or a couple years ago, he was one of the hottest names out there, like you said, because of Lucha Underground. And then he did some Impact Wrestling, and now, I mean, it's all cooled off. Like, it's just like we talked about Private Party. I mean, talk about all the momentum that Private Party had.
Yeah.
And now I still think, like you said, Penta, and it's interesting, like the Cody Rhodes stuff, I thought that was going to build him back up, and then that was like a one-off, and then it was done. Like, they did not milk that for anything. And
it would have. They didn't even have a match.
That's true. They never did they?
They had a little smack talk. They had Alex, cut in on the family with the child on the way. They cut on him, and they never paid it off. They didn't even have one match. And this was a rivalry that could have really got Penta over as a singles. And I'm telling you, everybody go to Tubi, watch Lucha Underground, see how much of a boss this guy is as a singles wrestler because
he can do
amazing.
I mean, he literally can work any style. It does look like. And Ray Phoenix, it's funny you mentioned him. Like, just think, Greg, if he would have been, 20 years older, he could have been in WCW, mixing up with those cruiserweights, or even the ECW era when they were really big on high flyers, like Super Crazy and Rey Mysterio and I think Psychosis was there, and Tajiri, those like three-way dances matches. So yeah, if only Ray Phoenix was a little bit older. Damn him for being born later. But yeah, anyways. So next up,
best
Britt Baker
on the planet.
Exactly. Dr. Britt Baker, the current champion, who just did a little Instagram video with her favorite patient, Adam Cole, a couple of days ago, which really makes you believe that Adam Cole's heading there. But anyways, against Chris Statlander. This, for me, Greg, is more important for Chris to show up. Like, we've seen her, get the swell of popularity. So she's going to lose, obviously. She's not going to win. It's Britt Baker all the way. But it's more important to see what she can do at this level. Can they see that Statlander can be a main event player? Maybe they could do Britt Baker or Chris Statlander down the road on Dynamite at as a main event. So I think it's really a coming out party for Chris to kind of prove what she could do. And, just think, like I said, a year ago, she was injured or whatever. Like, we weren't even thinking about her being in a high caliber match for AEW right now. So it's really cool to see how far she's come with the alien gimmick of all things, to think that would go over is an alien who boops her nose. Like it's crazy. So, and she's low key really attractive. Like, it's one of those under the radar. Like, I'm like, hey, you can ET me, something like that. I couldn't think of a good alien reference. You could probe me? Never mind. I won't go there. So, Greg, you got Britt Baker correct?
Not necessarily.
Oh, not necessarily. Okay.
No. And Chris Statlander can boop me. I think that's where you wanted to go. It's I think that Chris Statlander wins by disqualification. That one of her cronies get involved, and after they see that Statlander is, how strong, how powerful she is, after a good solid, about 20-minute match, that Rebel gets involved, or Jamie Hayter does something, or they all say screw it, and they all jump in the ring and
jump her.
Beat her down. So
okay,
it's a match that lends itself to another match
down the road,
and you get over Statlander even more. That she is a legit challenger because Britt Baker had to lower herself not lower herself, but resort to cheating to keep from losing her title. So I think it's a furthering the storyline kind of match. So I don't think that Britt Baker gets the win here. That Statlander wins by DQ. So Britt keeps the title, but we keep the story going.
I can buy into that. Like you said, keep building her up and let her pick up a win over Britt by DQ, because that still keeps her in the title picture if they need to revisit that. So, and finally, AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. Oh wait, no, not Hangman Page.
Love it.
Christian Cage, who's going to fight Brian Cage and Nick Gage in a steel cage for the ages. This is all Kenny Omega. I still feel like this needs something afterward. Like, I want to know what the follow-up will be to this. This is where I feel like, we need something after the fact. Because there's not, like, I can't get into it. They're really trying to push it. I think just the fact that, Hangman is off the card for whatever reason, like, will he be able to get the momentum back? It almost feels like, are you going to wait past Full Gear now? Because, you're going to build him back up in a way just because he's been off TV for a little bit. I still think the crowd will be behind him, but at the same time, they're big about trying to build up guys. Like, I'll give Christian credit. He worked his way up the rankings. Even though people forget his first night out, he he went after Kenny. Like, everybody's like, oh no, he wasn't one of those guys that, won the title. Like, that was his first night in AEW was where he went, like, he picked up the title and headed it to Omega and walked off. Like, that was his first night there. So, Christian's, first night. But Kenny Omega for the win. But I feel like this needs something afterwards to kind of give it steam and, build it forward for Kenny Omega. Because even Omega as a champion, like, it's kind of lost, something. I mean, the fact that they took off the Impact World title says a lot. They haven't taken off any of his other titles, but, we'll just kind of see, where Kenny goes next. Because I'm not sure who, you could throw next at Kenny Omega. So how about you, Greg? What do you think about all this, Omega and Cage match?
I hate this match. It's still not now, or I don't know if I ever have been a Christian fan when he's not standing next to Edge. He thinks he's Captain Charisma, but we don't feel it. His jokes are dry, and he's a legend in his own mind, kind of thing. I've never been on the Christian train, so I'll put that disclaimer out there. But I liked what they do with him taking the Impact title because we can shuffle Christian off to Impact, and he can live in obscurity over there, and I won't have to look at him anymore unless Orange Cassidy decides to come out and challenge him for the Impact title. And then I will actually find where it is on my TV dial, and I will watch that. I will watch Impact. But as far as this match goes, I think I've already mentioned the closing of Dynamite from Wednesday, where they had not only were the Lucha Brothers taking the huge beat down, but Christian was in there too, taking a huge beat down from the Elite. And we know how it goes with the go-home shows, that the ones with the upper hand on the go-home shows usually don't do too well on the pay-per-view. But this is the moment where we're going to go against formula, and Kenny's still going to find a way to keep the title. Just Christian's the wrong guy to have as the guy that has Kenny's number. There's other guys I could definitely put in that category, but not Christian. So Kenny is going to win, and then as far as the surprise at the end, I think that's where Hangman comes out. We haven't seen Hangman on TV for a few weeks, and they dismissed him. Kenny came out and dismissed him as a possibility, and while Kenny and the Stooges are having their liberties taken with Christian, this would be a moment for Heyman to come out with a chair in his hand, clean house, and drop Kenny on his head and let him know I'm back, and pop the crowd, get everybody fired up right before it's time for the real main event.
That's the thing, too. I wonder where this match will be kind of place-wise. Like, will they do it semi-main event, or do you do a little bit earlier in the night? Because I feel like it doesn't have, that steam like we thought. So do you think it will just semi-main event, as they call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be the match before, because I still see it as kind of a plotting match, and
we're
going to be looking at our watches, and for a championship match, this is as much of a bathroom break match as you can get. So I think you can put this right before Punk and Darby and not lose anything.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not going to be emotionally spent on this match because, Kenny's going to cheat the win, and, the Elite's going to do the Elite thing, and Cowboy coming out is going to be the perfect way to get everybody back out of sleep mode and back into fired up and charged up and ready for Punk and Darby. So I think it's perfect to put this match right before the main event. Exactly.
Well, that's all we got today. I just wanted to make sure we got on here, gave you some predictions. I think it's going to be a fun night. I really do. Order however way you can. I think just with the debuts that we're expecting and the match quality we're expecting, like I said, I think the big matches are going to be the big matches. And then, like you said, but then Jon Moxley and Kojima could kind of steal the show with a good, 15, 20-minute wrestling classic type deal. So enjoy the evening. Thanks for watching. And Brittany, sorry we caught you late. We would just want to do a quick and easy show today. Kind of got a couple things happening today. So a little busier, of course, on Labor Day weekend than I'd usually be. But thanks for being on here, Greg. And we will talk to you guys next week. Getting all caught up on AEW, all NXT stuff. And we're heading towards a new version of NXT in a couple weeks. So we'll definitely be talking that up. And all heading towards Extreme Rules. Then we got Hell in a Cell, Crown Jewel. We got a lot of events happening here. So have a good day and talk to you guys later.
Peace.